What a year. 2016 is over, and it's been the best year of my life. This is the second time I'm doing this year-end recap, and this year I dedicate to the people around me and the teams I've had the privilege of working with. Teams like Colin, Alex and Paul from Web Profits, Bob, Jared, Matt and Dan from Q, Kumar, Scott, Mark Linquist, Kat, Sophie, Nick, Tam, and the list goes on. People I've had the pleasure of getting to know and who have impacted me positively this year. Hannah, Ty, David Nihal, Max, Pep, Benji, Will, Rob, Sol, aka the Cookie Monster, what a memorable name, Dan, Ollie, Jonathan Dane, Arjun Aurora, Trent, Morgan Brown, Noah Kagan, Heathen Shaw, and the list goes on. Each person has contributed something to my personal growth. They've changed my beliefs, they've updated a little bit of how I work and changed something I've done. And I feel leveled up. I've had a sense of clarity that I've never had, and I'm going to 2017 strong. Here's how we're gonna break this video down. We got the crazy, the good, the bad, the ugly, the highlights all the way to the lowlights, the good and bad. Let's start with the crazies because let's face it, I'm a little nuts. So this year has been a very clear year. I've got lots of clarity. What was once a soft and fuzzy and lofty goal has become solidified. I feel like for the first time in a very long time, I know exactly what I'm doing going into the next 5 years, not just the next year. And I have a clear path forward. And what's crazy is amongst all this hard work, I've worked harder than I've ever worked before. I've had the most fun that I've ever had in my life. And it's all come from doing work-related things. I've replaced my hobby of skydiving. I started this year doing lots of skydiving, spending my weekends jumping out of airplanes, with buying and growing businesses. I bought 3 companies this year, Pick.co, Link Texting, and one I cannot talk about. It's a Shopify app. I'll let you know later next year. I started a new agency called Web Profits. I swore I would never do consulting again, but over the last 2 years, I started doing a little bit and I started loving it again. And with the joint venture with Web Profits, I know we're setting ourselves up for a very, very great next 5 years. I'm in the final states of a book deal that's going to be published in 2018. Super excited about that. I've created 56 videos this last year, and the crazy thing is, in my last video shoot, I created 7 videos in 58 minutes. It took me about 2 months to create 7 videos, outlining it, scripting it, and all that stuff. I literally created it in 58 minutes. It was awesome. It was a breakthrough for me. I feel like my public speaking, my communication has gotten way more clear. Hopefully you can understand me better. What's crazy this year is I have no home. I actually live in Austin, Texas, technically, but I was gone over 100 days this year. I was on the road. It was absurd. One of the things I love about this year is I absorbed the Aussie culture. I visited Australia 3 times this year. And what I love about the Australian culture is that they have a great attitude and a balanced life. They're laid back attitude, but their ambition and hunger. What I've learned from my business partner at Web Profits, Alex, is he wants to be the best, and guess what I want to be? I want to be the best. And why would I want to be the best? Because I want to be one better than him or right next to him. And that motivation, that person, that attitude has leveled me up. What was awesome this year is I gave a talk at Stanford University. As a college dropout, it is the highest honor to give a talk in front of a bunch of college students. And I told them actually to drop out of school. Well, it was their last class of their last semester. So I'm pretty sure no one did, but I did convince one student to pursue his dream. In fact, as soon as he graduated, he started his company, had this idea, and I taught at this entrepreneurship class. A few months ago, I got an email from him saying, thank you, and some news that he raised $3.5 million. Look, I don't think I care. I don't think he cares whether it succeeds or fails. I know he's gonna have a great experience through this. All right, now for the good. Actually, I would say the great. One of the things I learned this year is to say no. Super simple, right? No. But it's the hardest thing to say, especially when you get lots of emails and people coming to you with deals, business opportunities, and whatnot. So I learned to say no. I'm saying no more than ever. I got 392 consulting deals for my private consulting, which is now Web Profits. For my SaaS businesses, I got 8,219 SaaS trials and leads, 2,900 plus backlinks to sujanpatel.com and all of my websites. I personally got I actually now get over 100 mentions a month. That's 3.2x of what I got last year. It was about 30, a little under 30 when I ended the year. I had 29 speaking engagements, up from 7 last year. In fact, I did 2 whole speaking tours. The first one is in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne, where I gave 11 talks and workshops to various startups, sales and marketing organizations. And I'm just coming back from the last 5 weeks on the road for giving 6 talks, SF, LA, Sydney, Ottawa, SF again. Man, that was exhausting. I thought it was a great idea to do 6 talks in a row in 5 weeks of travel, and I'm not doing that again. But it was a lot of fun. Got to break bread with some amazing people. Content Marketer IO pivoted. No longer does that brand exist. It is now mailshake.com. Our connector product has now been rebranded as Mailshake with version 2 coming out. And I bought my dad a Tesla for Father's Day. He's been ranting and raving about a Tesla for a long time, but he's been too cheap to buy one. I was going to buy myself a Ferrari, but I felt like I was going to be a little too douchey, so I was like, you know what, I should probably do something good for him because he bought me my first car, and I'm hopefully going to get to buy him his last cars. Not just last few cars. My book, 100 Days of Growth, passed 40,000 copies sold, which is awesome. I'm super happy about how many people I've been able to impact through my book. And remember, my mission this year was to share everything I know. And with 40,000 people and all the conferences I've talked at, I've been able to do so. All right, now for the bad and the ugly. Start with the bad. So this year, I pushed myself harder than I've ever pushed myself before, and I think I broke myself. I think I pushed myself too far, and emotionally, it was a very, very taxing year. I stepped too far out of my comfort zone, and I just never felt very, very comfortable or good, and emotionally, I can't tell you how it felt. I kind of have to feel it for yourself, but I was just never at ease. I was always off. I was super excited, so I kind of put myself back, but I was definitely a little bit off in terms of my emotional state. Narrow.io had some major outages, and it took 3 months to fix. In fact, we lost 30%, this issue that we had, lost 30% of our customers overnight because it affected them. Luckily, Jared just released a brand new rewrite of the code, and we've already, in the last 10 days or so, recovered about 80% of our customers that we lost. In fact, those exact 80%. And major FOMO this year. Although I learned to say no a lot to a lot of opportunities, a lot of speaking gigs, a lot of business opportunities, but I still have major FOMO every time I see my friends speak at that conference I couldn't make it to, or I see a potential business I could acquire or grow. I'm like, I wish I could do it. And it just is not possible. I simply don't have the time, and I have negative brain power. All right, now to the ugly. All right, this is not going to be good. I've gained 23 pounds since the end of 2014. I started off as 130 pounds. Yes, it's pretty light. I was very, very great shape, and I currently weigh 153 pounds. That's double chin status, guys. And I swore to my 2011 self when I lost those 45 pounds, I would never do it again, and I'm kind of halfway back, or a little bit closer, a little bit more than halfway, and let's just say that's going to get fixed immediately. I got sued for a patent infringement for a failed mobile app I did in 2014. In fact, it failed like in 3 weeks. I shut it down. Apparently, I missed something, or some lawyer found something that was still online, and they sued me. Wasn't huge, but again, it taxed my emotions a bit. I spent more on legal fees than having fun, and that's because a lot of the businesses we acquired, restructuring a lot of deals I've set up. I'm an advisor to a lot of companies, so frankly, I paid a lawyer a lot of money. But hey, that's a sign of success, or at least, hey, that's how I'm justifying it. And I spent way too much time on flights and at the airport in economy, so it's not always great travel, but it was definitely taxing physically, and that kind of contributed to my weight gain, because when I was tired, I ate, and when I was at the airport is when I was the most tired, which means McDonald's or any type of fast food or shitty food at the airports these days. All right, now what's in store for 2017? Next year is going to be the best year ever. And if you don't hear me saying that every year, that means I'm doing something wrong. First thing I'm going to do is fix my diet and exercise. I refuse to gain any more weight. It's just not happening. Double chin, can't get into triple chin status. I'm going to have a lot more fun. This year was hella fun, but next year is going to even be better. For fun, I'm also going to start learning how to add humor and joke comedy to my public speaking and my communication, thanks to the influence of my good friend David Nihil from Funny Business. I got to hang out with him in London this year for a speaking engagement in the summer. Hilarious guy, mixing comedy and business together. My family is probably going to grow. We're going to have some babies. Maybe a boy or girl, they're going to be named the Wolverine. And when they're not being little buggers, I'm going to call them Logan. Or maybe when they're not crying, right? Hopefully my wife doesn't veto this. My video is to hopefully get some backing behind Wolverine. So if you like the name Wolverine, leave a comment below. I'm going to stay the same old me. Look, I love Taco Bell. I love singing in the shower. I love cursing. I refuse to work with assholes. I like doing things the hard way because that's fun. And I'm going to stay that same way. If you see me not do that, call me out. That's going to help me bring me back to the level. I've seen a lot of people change, and I don't want to change. I want to help more people. I'm doing this through being an advisor for more companies. I'm doing lots of webinars. In fact, you're going to see me next year hit even more channels. I've got video down. We're going to do webinars, podcasts, a lot more blogging at more guests at other publications, not just my site. You're going to see the Web Profits blog take off. In fact, it's already caught up to the monthly traffic of my personal blog, sujanpatel.com, in like about 4 months or so, which is awesome. There's going to be 2 books coming out. I'm working on them next year. The first book is going to be on growth marketing. It's going to come out probably in the first half of next year. I know I said I was going to do it last year, but I got way too busy. It's definitely happening. It's happening now. It's going to be the second version of 100 Days of Growth. And I'm also working with a publisher to finalize a book for 2018. I'm going to give you an early working title. It's going to be called Underdogs. And it's going to be about how companies, large or small companies, can compete with these big companies or compete in big spaces, just like I have been doing with some of my SaaS business. Our plan for our newly founded fund or venture company that houses all of my SaaS companies, our goal is to 3x our customer base. It's that simple. I think it's doable. It's going to be freaking hard, but it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next year, and definitely want to hear what you guys are up to in the comments below. And remember, if you ever see me not staying true to these words in this video, call me out. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, see you soon.